This is a special announcement. Hey there, ADHD reWired listeners. If you are like most people who sign up for our coaching and accountability groups, you've probably been thinking about joining us, maybe since you first heard about it months or even years ago. And since you hit play on this special weekend announcement, I'm guessing you're still thinking about how you can make it work. You know, we've had over 1,000 people go through our program, and I've heard so many of them say that they kept waiting for the perfect time to join and eventually realized that that perfect time will never come. So they took the plunge, and they are grateful that they did. I know for a lot of us, we can overthink the hell out of making big decisions, and yet some of us just jump in without much thought. But I have a sense that you might be an overthinker, and maybe you're struggling to make this big decision. And I get it, especially when there's money involved. And I'm with you because I also struggle with making big decisions, especially when there's money involved. That's why our registration process is probably one of the most thorough processes you could experience, from having you watch a 30-minute pre-recorded presentation that really goes through everything that you would need to know so you know what to expect when you join. And we ask you to answer questions based on that video presentation because we really do want to make sure that you know what you're signing up for. We then ask you to send us a 45-second video of you answering a few questions because we want to, one, see how you can handle something that certainly feels a bit awkward and vulnerable. And we have you attend a registration event with other prospective members so we can see how you do on Zoom and how you interact with others. We do all of these things because we have been at this since 2014, and we've really developed a whole bunch of best practices for putting together really great groups with amazing people. Do yourself a favor. Stop looking for certainty if you're thinking whether or not you should join this group, because that certainty doesn't exist. But stop doing more of the same if you're wanting different results. While no program can guarantee 100% the results you are looking for, I can 100% tell you that I believe so strongly in the power of our program to profoundly change lives, because I've been seeing it happen for almost a decade now. So if you're ready to really commit to showing up, and you have a growth mindset, and you're ready to do the work, you're not going to find any other program out there that is as intense as ours and has been doing it as long as we've been doing it, and as a thriving alumni membership community that will continue to help you during that dreaded maintenance phase, which really begins at the end of our program and ends, well, maybe when you die or if your life circumstances change. So listen, if you need that last minute pressure of urgency to take action, this is literally it. We are hosting our last official registration event this Monday, July 10th at 10 a.m. Pacific, that's 1 Eastern. Orientation for group starts this Thursday. We're here, we're ready to go. The only thing we're missing is you. If you're even more than halfway towards deciding yes, I'm going to ask you in a second to pause the audio and head on over to the website so you can see the schedule and get on our interest list. Okay, do you have your phone in hand? Great. Go to coachingrewired.com and hit pause and resume playing once you are there. That's coachingrewired.com, and I'll be here when you hit play again. All right, remember to come back, or you just never hit pause. Either way, I'm assuming, hopefully you are at the website. You'll see that section 2, which is my section, is full, and we do have a wait list starting. But our coaches, Brian Etler and Kristen Martz, they each have availability in their sections. If you scroll down a bit, you'll see their schedules. So if you are a morning person, you will probably like section 1 with Brian. His section is on Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 8 a.m. Pacific, or it's 11 Eastern. All the sessions are about an hour, or a little more than an hour. We have 4 sessions that go a little bit more than that. That's also on the website. If you're an evening person, or that just works better for your schedule, Kristen's schedule is 4:30 p.m. Pacific, that's 7:30 Eastern, on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. We originally had her section for a early afternoon section, we got a lot of emails from people asking for evening group. So we switched things around because we only had 2 people signed up at that time. We now have 6 people signed up for the evening. So join us if that would work for your schedule. And we are still offering that $500 discount on their sections. So if you are not on our interest list, click on that button there at the top of the page to get your name on the interest list. Check your email and confirm that you want to get stuff from us. Then once you confirm, you'll get another email that gives you the directions on completing everything you need to do for those pre-registration requirements. Just take one step at a time. Your future self is going to be so glad you did this. All right, just in case you need to hear some of those really kind of moving, feeling, inspiring testimonials from our alumni, we're going to end this one with some of those testimonials. Hey, and if you get stuck during the process this weekend, send an email to support@adhdrewired.com. That's going to go to Lisa, my assistant, and she will respond first thing on Monday morning. We really hope to see you on Monday at our last registration event. Group starts Thursday. Don't wait.
Before this group, I doubted my ability to grow.
I came to the group out of hope, really struggling with who I was and what I wanted to do and feeling stuck.
I joined group because I think I'm one of the few people here that was diagnosed as a child, and I knew how to handle it as a kid, but I never matured and figured out how to handle ADHD as an adult and what it means to be an adult with ADHD.
I joined the group because I was diagnosed about 20 years ago, and over that time I've learned a lot. I've tried medication.
I joined this group because I was exhausted trying to do everything myself, and I knew I needed community and a group to journey with in my struggles.
I decided to join this group because I couldn't be alone anymore. I knew that I needed external accountability, and I think I'll need that forever.
I decided to join the group because I became aware of how much ADHD has impacted the use of my time.
Before, I would ask myself, what do I even offer to the world? I was just in a really low place.
So I decided to join because I was trying to do this by myself, and it just wasn't working. In 20 plus years, I read the things, I listened to every podcast, I had all the tools, and still I was losing jobs, always stressed. The guilt and disappointment were just ruining my life. And I had to admit to myself that I just couldn't do it alone.
I think I was afraid at first. Especially with the opening, I was like, oh no, this sounds really scary. If I mess up, they're gonna kick me out.
I was awestruck listening to everyone voice their frustrations, worries, and struggles, and I thought, oh wow, this is just like me. I've never heard of anyone else struggling the way I feel I do. They gave me such a sense of community and belonging that I don't think I have ever felt before.
I am a lawyer. I didn't want to come out professionally, for lack of a better term. And there just aren't a lot of people around here I can talk to, so I wanted to join the community.
It's nice to have a place where people can get together and chat about these things.
I discovered hope and the possibility of change around things that I was convinced were immovable.
I really feel this way, that this changed my life.
Everyone in the group who's talked about their issue, we all then become invested in wanting to see them grow, and by proxy, wanting to see ourselves grow.
What I learned is that with the right support, change is possible, and I'm not sure I really believed that for most of my life.
I'm most proud of being able to be vulnerable, especially in my masterminds. It's hard for me because I'm not used to people being supportive of me when I'm in a state of like not having achieved something. So that's something that's actually really difficult for me.
What I've accomplished in 10 weeks, I didn't do it alone. I did it with all of you. I did it with my A team. It's one of the hardest things I've ever done. The results so far, for me, have been really positive in the sense that I do believe that I can live without fear.
You realize that like trying to find better tools isn't really just the only solution. It's finding a community, finding people, and finding support, and learning how to ask for help and learning how to give help better. I think that really helps make a difference. I've learned to say no a little more often, and that doing less is really what I need to be doing.
My biggest takeaways are a commitment to more self-care, as evidenced by my creating a wind-down routine at the end of the day. It's self-care is self-forgiveness, and self-forgiveness is freedom. I have the stories, they don't have me.
The thing that I learned was I have a place in this world. I can continue to learn and relearn the techniques that have been shared with me here, and also continue to receive the support that I've gotten here, which I also didn't know I needed, but I'm so grateful for.
I'm most proud of how, despite how difficult these 10 weeks have been, not just in terms of work for this program, but many personal stressors, I didn't give up.
I think some of the things that have been most impactful for my life are implementing time blocking as a tool. It's been huge.
I just fully believe in the power of peer support. I think in order to heal from all the internalized shame and ableism and the trauma from growing up and not having known your ADHD or really understood it, being around other people who are going through the same thing and feeling, and I love you all, so why can't I love myself?
And this group is like a scaffolding for us to move from intention to action. And the scaffolding's above the muck and the stories and everything else. If you have a scaffolding in a building, you're renovating. You could be renovating or renewing it. And that building is us. For me, the building project is trying to open the windows, increase the size of the windows. And when the size of the windows increase, more light gets in. And just as importantly, more of our light gets out.
This community is amazing, and I feel like I found purpose. I didn't know what to expect. It was just absolutely worth it.
This group of strangers, we got together and we came into this thing thinking we were our own special kind of broken. But we grew together, uplifted each other, and saw how we're not broken and we're not alone. I saw this group and I knew this was my place.
They just taught me to be compassionate with myself and to say, hey, this is a process.
What I did not expect was coming away with a group of people that I love and respect so much. I never saw that coming.
When I think of success, I now focus on what is kind, compassionate, and possible. I try not to think about what I should or should have done or what people expect of me, and instead try to think of what I really want and what I think I'm capable of. And then, if the situation calls for it, reach a little bit further, except for when it comes to boundaries. Boundaries stay firm.
I thought in order to grow and make progress, I'd always have to mask and explain to people what I was struggling with or what I needed help with. I don't feel like I have to do that here.
Now, instead of pushing myself, instead of punishing myself and feeling guilty for how my brain works, I can believe and achieve and take pride in my successes and get excited for my future.
When I think of success, I now think of the bravery that it takes to live a life with our condition unapologetically and with compassion. I think that the default mode that we're made to feel in society is to just feel shame and just feel all of these things that have been attributed to us all our lives. But I think realizing now that there's a lot of courage and bravery in vulnerability and sharing what you're struggling with, and then having the courage to advocate for yourself and just live unapologetically.
It all has helped me be more comfortable with who I am.
It just completely changed my outlook. I'm learning to reframe things. I see value in myself. I see where I can succeed. I see where I can have a lot of growth.
If you're thinking about joining this group, do it. If you're stuck and you know you need that extra push to help meet your goals but don't know where to start here.
If you're thinking about joining this group, there's really nothing like being with a bunch of ADHDers. We're a really remarkably diverse group of people. I was surprised at how varied everyone was, except for the one thing, which is that we all have ADHD.
If you're thinking of joining this group, I would say absolutely do it. 100% you will not regret it. You get out of this program what you put into it. Be ready to be open, honest, and vulnerable with both yourself and your group. You are only cheating yourself if you don't, and there is a huge potential for growth if you do.
If you're thinking about joining this group, if you think you need this, it's probably time to do it.
If you're thinking of joining this group, just do it. You cannot regret this. You will not regret it. You only have gains. It's hard, but it's so worth it.
So if you're thinking about doing this group, go for it. Check out the podcasts, talk to Eric or talk to people who are available. This is the place, if you have ADHD, to be.
I came in expecting to get like a tool belt and then I'd take those tools and go with me, but I feel like more of a different person who has tools that I can use. So thank you, all of you, for such a wonderful experience. I had a great time with you all.